Hi everyone, my name is Mercy Manyema and I'm a Christian counselor, and welcome to Parakaleo Counseling, where we talk about all things mental health, where we talk about the life situations and circumstances and events that can affect our mental wellness and how best we can deal with them so that we maintain our mental wellness and we live happy, healthy lives. This channel is part of a ministry that also offers one-on-one counseling. And if you would like to have one-on-one counseling, please go to our bio where you will find our contact details, phone number, and email. So in our last video, we started a series on what is called radical acceptance. And we spoke about what radical acceptance is. And it is a tool, a technique, a skill that is used to help someone accept difficult or hard situations that life may throw at them. And we all know that life can just take a turn in a second. And sometimes you're faced with situations that you will have to live with for the rest of your life. Sometimes you have to live with them for a long time before life can return to normal again. And for us to be able to move on and deal with these situations, to find healing, it's necessary, it's important that you come to a place of acceptance of what has happened. And so we're going to be unpacking this skill over the next 7 video uploads, unpacking what is radical acceptance and how we can use it to deal with the tough situations in our lives. And the main reason why this is important is that very often we suffer from the hard things in our lives, not because those things are hard, but because we fail to accept them. And we continue to live in emotional distress. And so radical acceptance is one of those skills that you can use to minimize emotional distress, to be able to help, to be able to regulate your emotions so that you can move on with your life and so that you can find complete healing. And so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the advantages of radical acceptance. We'll also talk about the disadvantages of not using radical acceptance, or the disadvantages of not accepting the difficult situations in your life. Before we go on to the episode, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, those who are here for the first time, and like the video, share the video, let everybody know that Parakaleo Counseling is now on YouTube. And remember once again that this series started as an audio series, and so you'll hear me mention audio series in the video. That is because this started as an audio series. So without wasting any more of your time, let's go straight into the video. Hello, my name is Dr. Manyema and I'm a Christian counselor, and I'm going to be talking about radical acceptance. And this is audio number 2 of the series on radical acceptance. And in this audio, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of radical acceptance, the advantages of accepting the negative situations in your life, and the disadvantages of not accepting them. And in audio number 1, remember we said that radical acceptance really is a skill that you use to minimize intense emotions, and you do that by accepting the facts of the situation that has happened in your life, accepting that you can't change them, you can't fight the reality, and you have to live with them, and refocusing your energy on how to move on. So what happens when you don't accept a situation? When you don't accept a situation, it causes you stress. And particularly if it's a situation that is not going to change. Let's say you find out that you are HIV positive and you've been infected by somebody else. It was not of your own doing. That's a situation that you are going to have for life. And you need to come to a point where you accept that, okay, this is how it is. I am HIV positive. I cannot change it. I cannot change that this person pass the virus on to me. Those are the facts of the situation. And if you don't accept them, you continue to ruminate over them. You continue to ask why would they do this? How could they do this to me? What did I ever do to deserve this? And wishing that it was not like that. But that is not helpful. It then puts your body in a constant state of stress, and our bodies are not able to handle that. When you're constantly stressed, you get physically ill, you get emotionally unstable, you get mentally ill as well. Your brain becomes foggy, you can't function and make decisions. So that's what when you fail to accept a situation, it causes you stress and it can lead to mental health challenges. Number 2, you tend to focus on the problem instead of focusing on the solutions or on focusing on how to cope. So for example, the HIV example, you keep focusing on the fact that you are HIV positive. Now you've been infected, instead of now thinking about, okay, what lifestyle changes do I need to make so that I can live as long as I can and live a healthy life? What can I do to protect my mental health, to protect others? If, for example, if you're married or you plan to get married, instead of focusing on solutions, you end up being stuck on the problem and in the past. Number 3, you fail to heal emotionally because you've been hurt. You also fail to forgive, because for you to forgive, you need to be able to name the fault, the hurt. And for you to name it, that's the process of radical acceptance. You fail to grieve. When something bad happens, very often we lose something. You lose a way of life, for example. You lose an income, you lose a relationship, maybe someone has died. You need to be able to grieve and put it in your past. But if you don't accept the situation, it hinders that process of healing, moving on, and grieving. When you do come to a place of acceptance, when you've practiced radical acceptance, you get peace of mind. You're able to rest. Even if this situation is permanent, you cannot change it, you're going to have to live with it for the rest of your life, you can still live a life of peace because you've accepted it. Number 2, you are also able to start looking at the silver lining in your situation. Romans 8:28. You start asking God, Lord, what good are you able to bring out of this situation? And you can actually claim that promise. And number 3, when you accept a situation, you can now use your energy to move on, to live a better life. You start asking yourself, how can I grow? You start asking yourself, how can I even live a better life in this situation? And also, when you are able to accept a situation, you are in a better position to console others who are in the same situation as you. If you haven't accepted your situation, you might actually end up depressing other people. So if you have been infected with HIV and you have not fully accepted it, if you try and talk to another person who's just been infected, you might actually make it worse for them. So acceptance, and when you accept a situation, you end up being a blessing to others.